Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
Have no fear, Big Things Kentucky is here. I'm Coach Bew, my man, Coach TB on assignment. Coach Truck, what's good, sir?
Man, it's been a rough stretch these last couple months. We had a lot going on, but we back. We back, baby. We're going to kick off dead period with Big Things Kentucky. Let's get it rolling, Coach.
All right, man. First off, Coach went out here, got his fish pole out, and hooked the big one. We got Coach Jonathan Hawks from the Tates Creek High School. We're going to have him on and talk about that program and all the improvements they made.
Well, here it is, Coach Hawks. Here we come. All right, Coach, man. First year, 5-7. You know, you had 15 seniors, 24 juniors, 16 sophomores, and 15 freshmen, Coach. Just kind of tell us about your first year as a head coach of the Tates Creek Commodores.
First and foremost, was just thankful for the opportunity to even lead that charge. But it's bringing in new structure, trying to set a new standard. It's not so much I keep telling people. It ain't so much about changing the culture. The culture at Tates Creek has been great. The thing is, I've been there a long time. It's just one of those things, but the culture has to shift a little bit, right? It has to move with the times. And so a lot of kids needed to see the positive in a lot of the things that we were trying to do and create last year. So there was some structure in place that a lot of kids had to get used to. We missed some kids in some games last year, I told the coaches and the parents that's one thing I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to hold the kids accountable, and I'm going to hold my coaches accountable. At the end of the day, in order for us to continue to move that thing in the right direction, I got to get buy-in from the entire community, not just at Tates Creek High School. And so last year was the first step in making that happen.
Now that 6 a.m. Practice missed it, man. You was done for the week. That was big right there, man. But I thought Coach Gray said you stood your ground on it. You feel like it was big, far setting the precedent for these young cats to see how life's gonna be when they get older.
Yes, sir. Because as well as I know, playing football in college and even moving to the professional level, like when they put a time out there, it's for you to make it. I don't care what you do the night before, whatever the case may be. If we say 6 o'clock in the morning, you there at 5:15. And you make sure you get there on time and whatever needs to happen, you make it happen. But I was going to hold those kids accountable the same way, we do it this year. We had spring ball moving into this year. We did 6:30 practice every day. We did spring ball, and those kids showed up on time, before time, and just knew I wasn't playing around with it.
Now that's something, we was doing basketball games and I would come over there during the off season. I saw they were in there working hard, Coach.
Yeah.
I know you said that's one thing, just getting that's part of that grind set mentality, which I noticed you had put in effect. Just kind of tell us about the off season, how you structured it and how you felt it went.
So off season wise, of course I'm juggling too, right? So I'm being a head track coach and football as well. But I'm blessed for that. So for me, when we talk about the grind mentality, it's everything that you talk about when you talk about somebody who's ain't afraid of hard work, and my kids shouldn't be either. And the thing that this offseason taught my kids was that we were underdeveloped last year. It's no offense to previous staffs or whatever the case may be. It's just the thing that I know that we got to do to take this to another level. We have to train physical, but that mental part has to be part of where the growth comes the most. And so those kids showed up. We averaged, around 45, 50 kids per workout. Kids just showed up. They knew that they had to get it in. They knew that moving into this new direction and where we're going, you got to be more physically tough. We was getting beat at the line of scrimmage a lot last year. And a lot of that comes from the weight room. You have to be more explosive in the hips. You have to be able to have a stronger punch in the arms on that line of scrimmage. And so a lot of things that we focused on this year was hip mobility, flexibility, and of course explosiveness. So this offseason was huge. Like I said, the numbers were great, and then even into the spring ball, we did a great job. So I'm proud of the kids.
Now tell us about your thoughts of spring. How did that go and what were you expecting to get out of your first spring with them?
Spring ball, something that I want to continue to focus on is teaching the small detail.
Yeah.
And so the little bitty things, right? So even if I love speed, right? So I want to teach speed, but you can't teach speed without having endurance, right? Because there's a lot of technology on it, not technology, but a lot of techniques that go into teaching speed, right? So when you talk about the spring ball, we slowed everything down for kids who didn't play last year, for kids who did play last year. Like, let's build on the little things that we were working on after last season to move into this upcoming year. So take away the hitting with the football pads on, and take away all of that stuff. Let's focus on the basic small details. So we got competitive, but at the same time, just to see that amount of kids show up every day, at 6:30 in the morning, that made us smile. I knew we was moving in the right direction to see that. They didn't complain. Last year, some guys coach, but this year they didn't complain. They showed up. We did pre-practice at 6:15. Them guys, the gates opened up at 6. They were there. We didn't have to miss a beat. The whistle blew 6:30. Everybody was ready to go. So it was that was the best thing I seen, was that attitude, that mindset. To be there every day, no complaining. Let's just work.
I can hear it in your voice and can see it in your face, how surprised to see the different kids come out, new kids come out. Do you feel like the excitement is back in the school and back in the program?
Yes, sir. When you got the teachers and everybody, they see us in the morning practicing, and and I'll be honest, something that I wanted to do, and it was something that we started last year, but now in off season and going into this year, I wanted to make sure my kids were getting properly nutrition, like
That was something I
proper
wanted to
nutrition.
bring up that I didn't really talk to me about earlier. Explain this, Coach. I love this.
So, growing up from where I come from, Gainesville High School, now if you look it up now, it's like it's a beast. They got everything. They got their own little. I don't know. They do everything for them kids now, right? Yeah. But I remember when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot, and then I would go home a lot of times hungry, and so. Last year, God gave me a vision. It's like, man, you got to make sure these kids are taken care of, not just in football, but outside of football. So, I took it upon myself to ask my families last year just to donate, time, whatever you got, to help me make sure these kids get food after practice in the morning, because a lot of kids won't eat the breakfast food in the school. So I wanted to make sure they was getting properly fed. So it started out, I have a separate group. I got a mom's group, and then I have a dad's group. It's two different things. They do two different things, but they come together to create one purpose and goal. So their purpose and goal is to make sure our kids are properly properly hydrated, and have proper nutrition. So we that's a separate thing from football. It's all about trying to create a holistic view of what it feels like to have a great balance in football, I guess, in life. So after every practice, our kids in the morning, they get during spring ball all season, they have a choice of peanut butter jelly sandwiches or protein shakes, just anything that will help them get nutrition, fruits, waters, protein shakes. Recuperate, yeah. Anything that I can put in place to make sure that those kids are getting that. And so with the new locker room area that we have, I actually was able to, due to some different sponsorships, get a refrigerator. My dad's group was they put their minds together and they built a food pantry. So so within our moms and dads groups, they actually help keep that pantry going. Eventually, we want to get to where that thing can run itself. But right now, it's a dream that's coming to a reality. But we want to make sure that our kids are properly fed, to make sure that they are taken care of on and off the field. And it's really about the parents. I'm honest. My mom is a single mom, and I just want to make sure that the parents know, like, hey, my son is taken care of when they walk into this room with this coach. So,
and that says a lot, man. Like I said, because you are in one of the harder hit areas as far as
yes, sir.
Different things, crimes and everything. So be able to do that and have the support of people who want to come and help. That's big. That's a lot about you. That wouldn't help you and help that program. So that's a lot. All right, Coach. Now, Coach, you lost 15 seasons. Coach Truck mentioned earlier. Of course, you lost Keyshawn Docker, probably the legendary last year. Theo Jones. It was just tough. And then Kobe Middleton, man, 3 great players, not counting the other ones. And then you go ahead and do this schedule, Coach. What in the world's going on? I'm sitting there doing this. Is this you?
Yeah, I created it.
Now, Coach, everybody's running from Douglas. You said, Douglas, come on here. We'll take you. At Douglas. Now, man, we're going to start off at Eastern. We got Danville Post your first scrimmage. Then you got Eastern, Madison Southern, North Oldham. Coach, you with Douglas, at Douglas, Station.
This 4 game stretch right there.
Coach, what in the world going on here? This has been the family friendly show. I done cuss, Coach. Coach, what's going on here? We're trying to get rough stretch. Yeah, it's rough, Coach.
Thought process is if you say you're trying to be the best one day, you got to play against the best. And running from competition is something, if you look at the history of what the track program that, God has given me the opportunity to build at Tates Creek. We went around the country to run against some of the fastest kids in the country and create All-Americans. With that being said, so if we want to be at a level where we can play high-level football, you can't run from guys like Douglas. You can't run from guys like Station. They are well-respected programs. And in order for us to get there, my kids got to understand I'm not ducking anybody. When it comes to us playing our city schools, like, we want to make sure that we in the thick of it as well. And I want to prepare those kids to play in those high-level games when you talk about playoff football. So Douglas, I believe, is one of the best teams in our state. And I think Station is right along, the same path. You know, Coach Hawkins has done a great job. So I want to be able to compete with those guys one day. And if it's this year, next year, the year after that, you know, we're gonna continue to bang heads. But I'm not afraid to go against the better teams.
Hey, Coach, can't say no better than that.
Now you got quarterback Andrew Wigginton returning. He'll be a senior. You know, having coming out of spring. I know I saw him at EKU camp. He looked like he ain't put on a little. He looks a little bigger, Coach. I was like, I looked at him. I said, who's that? They said that's Andrew. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So you know, you've seen the transformation. You lost Theo Jones. You got Marquavion Smith and Andrew Withington coming back. Just kind of tell us what to expect out of this team.
Well, also you got leading tacklers back. All big
Oh,
names.
this is our man, Julian. Hey,
Julian
go ahead,
Logan.
Coach.
And then you know, you got the Mason Jackson.
Yeah.
I look at this kid on the side. I think, God, it's a grown man.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. But what are your expectations out of him? And catch coach name. Then you got offensive line. Devin Young picked up a few offers.
That whole offensive line,
Yeah,
looking to be the strength of your team because they played a lot as freshmen.
Yeah. They said they wore their lump, so now it's like time to come on, ain't it?
Yeah. So all the guys you mentioned, Andrew, you know, I think what was really transpired for not just Marquavion, Andrew, Mason, them guys have really, you know, I had them all when they was freshmen, so I was able to grab them in track. Not so much football because I didn't coach football the freshman year, but their sophomore year I was back in football with them in their freshman year in track. With track, it's all mental. I'm not gonna lie, you know, physical it is what it is, but I'm telling you, if you ain't got the mental, you can't run some of the things, you know, that you got to run. But I took Andrew and made him become a hurdler as a sophomore. And my biggest thing that I praise him for is that he took on that challenge. And I told him, when tough things start to happen for you in your life, those hurdles, are you afraid to jump them? And so I forced him to become a hurdler to teach. I did because his freshman year in track, he didn't really do as well as I wanted him to. And then, but I seen a brick wall, and I was like, man, you're going to learn to jump over these hurdles. Yeah. Because if you're going to lead a team to be a great team, you're going to have to learn to handle adversity. And so when those last 2 or 3 hurdles come, and they're hurdles, learn to push through. And so that young man went from being a hurdler that was just kind of subpar in the sophomore year to becoming a top 7 finisher at the state meet this year. Wow. And, you know, and that just shows his growth. He would go to football practice in the mornings or would go lift in the afternoons and then still make. None of those kids ever missed a single track practice. And so that gives credit to the mindset and the work ethic of Mason Jackson, as you spoke of, Marquavion Smith, Thomas Seager. All them guys ran track and they were like, Coach, I don't care about being a star. I want to work, Coach. I want to get to the level where you say we can get to. And that's what all those kids started buying into. It's a mentality. Yeah, they know it's a grind. And it's one of those things, like I said last year, talking about playing against Douglas, Woodford County, those teams. Like our kids were never afraid to play those guys. So it was one of those things where I knew we were maybe undersized, underdeveloped, but it didn't matter. Our kids wanted to still fight, and that's the one thing that we want to continue to build on. Now we got even more, more depth, but we got to continue to build. You can't get settled with it. You got to still be pushing forward.
Man, before we let you go, I gotta ask, do you from what you've seen so far, just the spring and everything, I know we start back in a couple weeks, about a week or so. Do you feel like this team is a little bit farther ahead than when you took over last year?
Sure. Last year, I was still trying to figure out what was going to happen whenever, I was like, man, after their period, I don't even know what's going to happen, man. When you talk about what's next, like now, it's no different than being a head track coach. I understand and I respect the process. So I've already done so much in the spring. So now coming, last year we didn't even have an offense put in until like the last week of before dead period. So this year, we've been able to go through spring ball. I didn't have an offensive coordinator the whole time last year.
Now that's something I wanted to talk to you about was, kind of talk about, it seems like you kind of finalized your staff and gotten there. Like you said, you got a late start on that. So can you talk about your staff and what you done with that?
Yeah. So, I'm big on community, and anything you guys see from me, it's all authentic, and I'm truly about the community when it comes to our kids. And so, I was able to hire an assistant head coach this year finally. He kind of took a lot off my plate. He handles a lot of off-field things for me, and he does community relations for me. So he's the one kind of helps me with the community events. And then we have, I added an office coordinator, in which he does my academic piece too, off the field. And then I have a coach, Coach Rob, who's doing my life at the football perspective with our kids. He really focuses on the junior and senior. So when you talk about the staff, I didn't only have to worry about getting a D-line coach, receiver coach, this coach, that. No, it was like I put pieces in place to be able to help our program as a whole, not so much just football. So that's the part that I'm thankful for. Is I got great men around me. We had a coach, the part of Coach Brandon Duncan. He was named as my D coordinator in the spring, but what happened was when Center College, they gave him an opportunity to go in and be. I don't know what he's actually going to be doing up there, but I do know that he talked to me about it. I said, man, that means we're doing something good if they coming coming to
Shout out to Brandon. He was my center for the Douglas Bearcats back in the day.
Was he really?
Yes, he was my center. He was an undersized center, tough. I taught him his feet. I tell him I take credit for his feet. I kept his feet together. I told him, I said, when I coached my little kids, I always told them, you don't never know where you're going to end up. But as long as you can move your feet and use your hands, you're going to be able to play.
Yeah.
But shout out to Brandon, though. He was my center.
Now, who was his replacement?
So Coach Halleck, he was already Coach John Halleck. He, my assistant head coach, he was already a guy that was a former head coach, former defensive coordinator, and that was the thing that I needed was more guys that understood the mission and what we're really trying to accomplish. And so Coach Halleck was able to kind of go into that role with D coordinator, and the guys rallied around him. Brandon was a big part of our sports performance, especially in the spring. So I was able to hire a guy from Western Kentucky, Zach Lee, younger guy. Been doing a lot of. I'm very strategic. I want guys around me that know how to lift. I mean, you got to learn how to lift and develop the human body. So I want guys around me that understand that piece. And so that's another guy that I brought into my staff. So he's going to help with the sports performance piece of what we're trying to create. So when you talk about the nutritional center, the proteins and all. Behind closed doors, we do a whole lot. I'm trying, man. I know
I got my Tates Creek shirt ready, boy. I hang up in the closet. I'm trying to see where we riding. Let's go Commodores, baby.
I'm a defender to the heart, and I love the city, every team. But man, I'm just to see where you at from last year to this year, man. I'm excited to see what you all do. I know it's going to continue to going up.
Yes.
Like I said, 'cause me and you talked at a function one time, man. I called Truck. I said, man, Coach Hawks loves football. He loves his kids. And he's like, I'm going to win. Just give me time. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Hey, I'm rooting for you. You coach cats like Coach Gay, want to see good men who care about kids have a lot of success doing this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach B, you got anything else for Coach Hawks before we let him go on vacation?
Hey, Coach Hawks, I appreciate it. I know Coach Troy held you up. You better hit the interstate, go home, Coach, and held y'all up. Man.
I'll try to go on me a nice little ride, but you know what? I'd rather come here and hang with y'all and enjoy this. But no, I appreciate y'all more than you know. And I just pray that people, it takes time to build a program, but I do know that I'm moving in the right direction, and I know it's God led, it ain't me. So I just know at the end of the day, let's just keep doing what we do.
All right, Coach. Good luck and keep doing big things, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Bew. I'm just letting you know, I'm finna get my Tates Creek shirt out. Now, it's going to be a rough little stretch in the middle, but look for big things. I love what Coach Hawks is doing, and I think it was great for us to kick this off because I think Coach Hawks kind of epitomizes big things count. I think we are on the come up.
I think we're definitely come up. And like we said, man, these administration and you parents have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? A lot of coaches are taking over schools who have struggled for a while. So it's about building them up. It's about laying your foundation. As he spoke about, 6 o'clock, 6:30 morning practice was a bugaboo. And he lost starting receivers, linebackers, running backs to games because they couldn't get there for the pregame, as he asked. You know what I'm saying? So hats off to him sticking with his guns, no matter what it could have cost him as far as a win or loss.
All right, Coach. Look forward to big things out of Tates Creek, Coach Bew. We're going to have to figure out who we're going to bring on next, Coach, and we do this here.
Coach, man,
but we are back.
We are definitely black, man. Shout out to a lot of young men that signed over these past week. Zuri Madison just signed with the University of Arkansas, Coach. That's huge. That is huge.
Man, one thing about this transfer portal, we're seeing a lot of kids committing early.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of these schools are getting their recruiting classes as far as high schools nailed down, and then they'll go and fill in all the spaces through the portal. So, guys, you get these offers, man, make sure you can commit and lock that up.
Lock it up. You got Tyler Webb committed to West Kentucky. He committed to, I think, the Army, backed out. Now he's committed to West College. I mean, you got kids getting offers right now, and he said it's best to go and commit early. Cole Carpenter from He from Frederick Douglass committed to Eastern, which is like I said earlier, they got his whole
Bowley committed
cut
to
bowl to UK early, which is big, and actually reclassifying.
Yes.
Gonna lose a year
Yes.
just so he come in and play and get into that
Absolutely.
system, which is huge. Coach Rooker also with Taryn Hicks from Frederick Douglass committed to Northwestern. That's huge. Two shots there,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And but I also want to say, man, shout out to K-State, man. I'm seeing a lot of these kids. K-State is really on coach. Man, Coach Hamilton has hit the ground running, and one thing we talked about was there's a lot of talented kids that they're not getting, that should be trying to get there. And it's good to see them recruiting our kids and keep doing big things, Coach Hamilton.
Quite a few kids committed there this past year. Some from Douglas, some from K-State, Keyshawn Doffin, and other kids. So, man, it's going to be huge to get kids to attend K-State because I'm telling you, you can get seen anywhere, but definitely K-State is a school that's on the rise. Like I said, great coach now. And like I said, it's great players in the city. And like I said, Coach, he's been at every high school. They've had a camp down there, a combine down there. So, man, it's big shout out to K-State, as you said. And Eastern's working again, too.
Eastern is back
in
on
the
the
city.
track.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eastern left us alone for a long time. But
I think Eastern, if you can play any kind of football, Eastern done offered you.
Yeah, they coming to see you. They showing
They are fishing with a wide net.
They are. I haven't seen Eastern fish the city like this in a long time. So shout out to Eastern and what they doing down there as well.
Well, Coach View, man, this feels good. Like I say, I got my Tates Creek shirt hanging up in the closet, getting ready to dust that off. You know, we went and we ride, baby. Oh, yes, sir. Coach View, what else you got for us before we get out here?
Man, like I said, we had stuff going on. Keep Coach Truck in your prayers and for the loss of his father. You know, he took a little time away, but he's back at it, you know, so that's how much this man loves what he does. And like I said, we'll be looking for us at the Dirt Bowl during the summer. So, hey, man, we're looking forward to getting back on the football field. That's what our heart is. That's our baby right there. And as always, there should be a living donor. I'm Coach Butte, my man, Coach TV on the side of Coach Truck.
Thanks.